We are on the eve of the 2024 season. Chuck Birnley is my co-host. We will be doing some in-depth interview on him tonight.
Oh man.
We're going to try to pick his 195 IQ of who's going to win the class championships this year. We'll see if you're going to be right at the end of the year. So, but guys, welcome to Friday Night Front Stretch. We've got a lot of things to cover. As you guys know, we've had some weather and came across basically next to the track. Of course, we all know that I had a tornado, and I'll show you guys some pictures real quick if you have it. That's the beginning of it, coming over city of Lincoln over there by the windmills. Not sure exactly where it's at. Then it started to kind of form. You can see the tornado right there, kind of forming, and then it really got going. Whoops. Now it really started lowering, and I was standing there out the front and thinking this sucker is going to go down because the
Mm,
rotation of this storm, guys, was so big. From where that point is that you're looking at, and I'll show you the drop here.
mm,
There's the drop. That's right there on Highway 6, coming from ADM to to my right, I guess, on the video. But that's probably about 3 or 4 miles from my house. And the rotation was so big that it was rotating above my head. So you know how big
mm,
the supercell was. And it came down and I was watching it, and next thing you know, it was starting to uh, come toward me, and that's where it was trying to
mm.
form a cister there. You can see the tail of it on the left side there. But and I put some video out there, guys, on my Facebook page. But yeah, that it started to come on 98th Street, and I'm on 98th, and I'm thinking, I better go in the house and quit playing around out here and watching it. But
Man.
it was funny because I was talking to my boss at Yan Equipment, and I says, "Have you ever seen a tornado?" And because we were talking about it Thursday, he says, "I've seen them, but from very, very far." And I said, "I've never
Mm.
seen one. Never seen one." And Friday, I guess I saw one. So,
Yeah, yeah, several
but
areas.
we've had a lot of rain. Now, it didn't affect the track any at all. I did have some branches come down because the back, they call it the back wind. Where the tornado goes by, there's more wind flowing.
Okay.
It did take some branches down. It picked up my windmill and threw it up against the evergreen trees. So,
Yeah.
and it's all busted up. But otherwise, we had hail. But funny thing about it is we never got any rain out of it.
Hmm.
Since last Thursday, we got about 2.5 inches of rain. That's it. Hell, I put that much down watering the track on a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, or Friday, and Saturday. So, where were you, Chuck?
Cal and I were down in the basement. Yeah, hung out down there. The dogs were getting kind of nervous with all the sirens and everything going off. So we went downstairs, and I sat out, kind of under our deck there, and watched the storm.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a cousin who works for, oh man, Pottawatomie County Emergency Services. So she's always ahead of where the
Oh,
news guys are. So she was texting me ahead of time saying, "Hey, this is what I'm hearing," and she was spot on at Waverly, man. Iowa had that thing pegged. And then she mentioned one forming down, they thought was going to be down off Cornhusker. Well, when I heard Cornhusker in downtown, I was like, that's close enough for us. So we all
right.
went downstairs to the Cal and I did. Carrie and Kate, they were actually up at a competition up in Omaha at
That's where Tim was too. Was up in Omaha.
yeah. Oh my heavens. So they shut it down and they took everybody inside, kept them all safe, everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, pretty wild, man. Pretty wild.
Well,
It's
and it was funny because I was after the storm went past me, and it got probably about 2 miles from the house because it did veer northeast, and it did hit a friend of mine's house down
mm,
on Waverly Road. Matter of fact, it went across Matt Rules, our football coaches,
yeah.
right across from his house, not too far away. Went across Sauk Creek, Waverly Road, went by the Lincoln Sky Knights, and you can see all the trees down, but it missed their airfield, and then it just kind of went away. It just went away, and it was funny because I had all these storm watches blowing by my house, right? And
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
from Oklahoma and Missouri, Kansas, South Dakota, North Dakota. I mean, there must have been about a half dozen or better,
Man.
and they stopped just down by the road on east of the racetrack, and they were just sitting there. And I thought, what are they looking at? Because the storm is long gone. They're not chasing it anymore. So I walked out on the road. I looked up, and there was a one dropping behind the racetrack.
Oh my heavens!
Yeah, it was
Wow.
it pure white.
Was that the
Like
one going to Hackberry, right? Isn't that the one that Jeff was talking
probably
about? Maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was watching it, and I thought, well, that's just right in that field,
Oh,
and it
man.
was coming down, and then it just kind of went back up and disappeared. So,
Oof. Wow.
but so far the track, we got fresh dirt on it. Looks good. It is water rutted. I've been working on it all day today. In the area of the loop, we put a new loop in. It's kind of got a little valley until we start working that in,
Mhm.
and I didn't
Yeah,
want to cut the track up because it's got so much moisture in the bottom that I'm afraid I'll just ball it up. And so
right.
I bladed it. So, but guys, if you're on, say hello to us. We're going to start the 2024 season tomorrow night. Gates open at 2, hot laps at 5, racing at 6. We're moving it up an hour.
Nice.
And and as far as weather is concerned, we're just going to have to see what happens tonight. We're supposed to get some rain, but the
Yeah, it's like
infield guys is kind of mushy, especially in the backstretch there. It's got a little pond back there, so uh, don't go back there.
so stay out of the infield.
Stay out
Novel.
of the infield. Yeah.
Novel.
Run a quick little updates, real quick for everybody. Sponsorships. We got Mr. Yards and More, Dennis Stevens. He's our only sponsor this year. He is doing. Oh, somebody's coming downstairs in the office. I can hear him banging around. Mr. Dennis is sponsoring. He brought out some new clay this year. We'll have him as our sponsor. Guys, we don't have a corporate sponsor this year. Due to the fact is that Five Star left us, and you know that Chuck's they Five Star's been with us what 6 years.
Oh, yeah, long time. Yeah, when they first got rolling. Yeah.
So we don't have a corporate sponsor. That kind of hurts because they paid for the bathrooms and the scoring sheds and a lot of maintenance. So if you guys are interested, in being a corporate sponsor or maybe a class sponsor this year, get a hold of me and we'll talk about it and see what we can get you on. New updates this year, guys. When you sign up tomorrow night, we'll have a driver's meeting. There'll be some forms to sign. Waiver of liability forms will have to be signed by the adults. If a minor's under 19, will have their own form to sign. The adults have to sign it. And then also, we put together an agreement form on formats. I don't know, you can't really see it because it's blinded out. But it's just basically all the format rules we've had over the years. We've had people say, well, you never told me that, or I didn't remember that, or this is something new. No, this is the same stuff. I just put it on paper, read it, sign it, turn it into us so we know that you guys got it and read through it. Um, no big deal. Don't panic. The only change that we have is the transponders. Um, Usually, when a transponder quits during a race, we throw a yellow and allow you guys to fix it. This year, we're not going to do that because the transponders are an extension of your car.
Mhm.
It's no different than a tire falling off or body
Mhm.
clip or something. You have to bring it in and fix it. That's why we get you guys out there hot lapping to double check it. So,
Right, right.
any thoughts on that there,
That,
Chuck?
that's during the race.
That's during the race, yeah. And we will not add laps manually score. It's just too hard. Too hard.
Good. Yeah. Let the
We
system
do
work.
have some basically some penalties if you guys, because we have to have some sort of a penalty type situation, especially on some of the severe stuff like no, don't tether your car. Um, I've seen guys not tethering their car last year. I've seen guys actually put a tether on their wrists and it's not even attached to the car. They're driving it. So if you do that, we catch you, you're going to be disqualified.
Mm.
It's a safety issue, guys. I can't have it done. But read it real close. It's just stuff that we've always had. It's just that people come up to me after I say, "Hey, you can't do that," and they'll say, "Well, you've never said that,"
Right,
or
right.
since we don't have drivers meetings anymore, it's kind of hard to bring up situations, and it works great, I think, for new people.
Mhm.
Zelazny was out there last year, Chaz and his dad. I can't sit down and discuss every little
Right.
nuances. So
Yeah. Yep.
What's your thoughts on that, Chuck?
No, I think anytime you could put it in writing, obviously black and white is ideal, but we all know the world of racing is gray, right? So,
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
there's always the spirit of the agreement, the spirit of that. But anytime you could get it on paper, at least folks have an opportunity to look at it and read it, and
Right.
they sign. Whether they read it or not, and they sign it, it is what
Yeah.
it is. I mean, you
It's just
said you did, so
I just want everybody to be aware of what's going on, especially new
yeah,
people. This will be a great tool for new people. There's nothing in here if that's has changed over the years. We've been doing this for years, so,
mm,
but I don't like the idea if somebody says, "Well, you didn't tell me that," or
sure,
So,
yep,
other updates, we're gonna have a drivers meeting. When we do, we're gonna talk about, well, we're gonna give away some of our plaques. I have a whole bunch of plaques that people haven't picked them up, and some T-shirts. And it also gives you guys an opportunity to talk about rule changes in your particular class or car. Now, quarter scale guys, you're locked into CUSAC rules. We're not going to change those. Okay, you want a rule change? Get hold of your co-chairs and apply for a rule change for that particular class of car. Fifth scales, we're under the VLT type program. But we can modify whatever you guys want. I don't see a big change. Do you, Chuck, on
I
the
don't
fifth
think so.
scales?
I
Have you
mean,
heard anything?
I have not heard any kind of big questions or concerns or anything get
Okay,
raised. And I think over the years we've refined it to where it's pretty solid.
sure.
So no, I've not heard anything.
Okay. Also, the only rule changes that we're going to see for the future, which is be 2025, and me and Chuck, we talked about it. I talked to Jimmy Sabi and some other guys, is we will have chaoses will not be legal next year. Because most of you guys run what street treads anyway, don't you?
Yeah. Yep.
So, and you can't get hold of chaoses anymore. And so for next year, not this year, guys, next year. Also, we're going to go to a strict muffler rule. We're not going to have tune pipes after this year. Everybody said, well, let's take tune pipes out this year. And I thought, no, because we got to give the guys who have tune pipes an opportunity to change up. And
Yeah.
why trying to change them up right before the race season
Right. Yeah. No,
starts?
that would not be cool. No, not at all.
So we're going to strictly mufflers. That doesn't mean that you can make a homemade muffler. You have to have a Zenoa muffler or a Chang Young muffler.
The black box.
It has to be a can.
Yeah.
Chang Yang. I think the VLT has a part number. I know Zenoa for quarter scales has a part number. No homemade mufflers, no aluminum mufflers. They're out there. I know where they're at. But none of that. Also, during the rules meeting, we're going to talk about the mud boss situation, decide how we're going to handle that. Will Gasky is actually the guy who's going to run this part of the deal for rules and classes. All we're going to do is score and allow the track. I did tell Will that we have 4 options. One, we'll do it before the races start, like on this Saturday. We're not going to run mud bosses anyway this Saturday, but I'm just example. Run them, mix them in with us. Run them after the races are over with, like around 11 o'clock or on Sunday. I think the option 2 is probably the best thing to do, but there is a drawback. You have to be a CUSAC member. We just can't mix the cars in where we got guys running around the track and are not members when there's people that are members. So you have to be a member. Now in October when we have our Ironman 100, it'll be on a Sunday. I'm not requiring membership. The only thing I'm required is signing the waiver of liability, especially for kids that are 19. So, but we'll talk about that tomorrow night. Otherwise, I don't have anything. Chuck, you got anything that you want to talk about?
Well, I just like to, as you could point out, you can see I'm wearing my swag with, I've got some merch I'm going to start selling for Lightning Clown Malt Liquor. For those of you, Lightning Clown, that's right, malt liquor.
Oh,
that's
boy.
my sponsor. Yeah, we're going to have a good time this year, although we can't drink the track.
I'm curious what your body looks like. If that's the car behind you, I bet that's a sharp-looking body.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I've got a few things I've got to do to get it finished up, but yeah, Dennis ended up hooking me up with a new body. I can't remember who he got it from or where from, but
is it Evolution?
I have no idea, in all honesty. I just gave him the money. I said, here, make it happen. So anyway, got a new body coming out, but this is the car that Ricky Bobby got started in. in his racing career.
Boy, I
So
must have
yeah,
missed that somewhere
yeah,
along the
it's
line.
it's in the opening
Is it?
scene. Yeah, it's the car he took over during the race during when the other guy was going to go get some ice cream. So anyway,
We did.
excited.
Speaking of ice cream, we did that down in Texas with
There
poor
you go.
Moline. We were sitting in. I gotta tell you this
That
story.
was Jared's fault, by
That was
the way.
Well, what happened was we went down to Texas to watch the quarter scale nationals. Was it last 2 summers ago?
2021.
2021. And Jared had this big Class A motorhome, and it was on the last feature of the day. And Craig Moline was racing the sprint car class, and
Well, let's go back. Craig had asked. I was sitting in the hotel. I said, "You guys need anything?" Craig says, "Yeah. How about some Sundays from McDonald's?" Because he knew our hotel was right by McDonald's. So I brought out 4 hot fudge sundaes. Put his in the freezer. The rest of us were eating them.
so we were sitting there eating, and we forgot about
Nice.
Jared being out there, and because
Nice.
actually Jared or Moline and Jared is supposed to help him on pit road,
That's
busy eating
that's
ice cream.
oh, what that's
Kinda
from
like, Days of Thunder.
Days
that
of
was just
Thunder.
Days of Thunder. That's right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, well, let's look at some comments before we get into more of this stuff for tomorrow night. Oh boy, we got a whole bunch of them. Well, we got
Yeah.
actually 16 viewers right now. That's
Everybody's
pretty good.
ready to go. Yeah.
Let's
Yep.
see. First one, Shaggy Senior. You're going to be there tomorrow. That's from Chris. Shaggy says, y'all. Hey, y'all. Okay. Dennis Stevens. Nancy needs what this party will start.
I think she was on the Facebook
time?
page. She asked what time. Yeah, what time?
Oh, it will start. Gates open at 2, hot laps at 5, racing at
Yep.
6. We're trying to move it up an hour, guys.
Nice.
My boss.
So we'll see how this works. If it doesn't work, we'll move it back. Shaggy says probably not. Chris says I will throw you your box of goodies in the trailer. Okay, thanks. Mike
What kind of
Garrett.
deal they're doing on the side, but okay, good enough.
Who knows? Who knows? Mike Garrett says hello. Hey. Shaggy, I said I had a Toro in my yard less than 30 feet from my house years back. Okay, must be a tornado that he was talking about. Eric Condit, he's the guy that is races up in Iowa. I've raced with him. Cool guy. I mean, the guy is quite, but he's fast. He is fast. And he's got a sprint car. Craig Boldy, hey, my favorite
hell.
4 letters. Oh, hell, yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it is with your gutter business.
Oh man.
He's
got
Mr.
Is Greg running? Is he running Fremont? Do I have that right? Is Greg doing something up in Fremont or no? Or is that
I
somebody
don't know
else?
what Greg's really doing. I heard that he wants to put a track up there.
That's what I thought.
10 scale
Yeah.
track and stuff.
Yeah.
So, Rick Young says hi.
Yeah.
Rick is a multi-champion out here in the sprint car division in the 5th scales. Here's my buddy Schultz, the truck driver. Remember him, Chuck? He has that semi in the driveway.
Great guy. He did. He crushed it. What 2 years ago?
Oh gosh, he
Quarter
does better on
scalers.
dirt than he does asphalt. Sorry, Mike.
He did really. He struggled like the first 2 nights, and then Saturday he pulled victory from the jaws of defeat for sure. I remember that. Yep.
There's Shane Manetti. Hey, bud. Brian Howard, our current co-chair.
Look at that. Oh, got the
big
wigs on, Mike.
What good information we got from the co-chairs that night, Chuck, when we had them on the insurance and stuff.
Well, I think overall, Mike, it was just good to get 2 people on who were obviously very heavily involved in the process.
Sure.
It gave the viewers a chance to ask questions that they may or may not have had, a chance to ask before. I think the key, though, it comes down to it is what it is. We got to have something. This is how the QSAC one works. It's not Mike. It's not Kim. It is, this is the program we have. And I think people appreciated that. And
right.
Obviously, and I can't remember the other gentleman, but I appreciated Brian and him hopping
Mike
on.
Sadler.
Thank you. For our viewers and the drivers to be able to have that interaction. I love the transparency and the candor. I think Brian had a few things he was going to be following up on. I'm not sure if he's had a chance to do that.
Well, I had him followed up on if the 5th scales can be a standalone class on insurance.
That's what it was.
Yes, it can, as long as you're a QSAC member. Same thing with the 10 scales. Guys, I don't want to force you guys to be a member, but because of the insurance part of it, I got to have everybody member.
Yep.
But here lies the problem. with the 10 scales. I can't have any marshals in the middle or around the track to pick these cars up. We have to stop them, call a red, flip them over, and then continue to go.
Gotcha.
It's just an insurance guideline. I know that people don't like Cusack for whatever reason, and there's people that love Cusack for whatever reason, but I have to look at it on the insurance part of
Yeah.
it for my property. And
Yep.
I was talking to Shane, no, what's his name up in Wisconsin, Maneri, and they run 10 scales. And he tells them we can run 10 scales, but you guys got to follow the letter by what Cusack wants as far as no marshaling, no running on the track, none of that. So
Matt, was it Matt Maneri?
Matt Maneri. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Shaggy says hello to Kim Jones. She's a Meyer.
Yeah, remember?
She
right,
reminds
Chuck?
me
I'm
a lot.
Meyer, right?
She reminds me a lot that if I say Jones, she gets upset with me.
Right, Chuck?
Yes.
I must have missed something.
It's an inside joke.
Oh, okay.
You know it, but never mind. Right now.
Eric Hauser out of Bruning.
There we
Bring
go.
your water wings boat racing. God, I hope not.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah.
Randy, you can ship Laurel my stuff. Okay.
To get our address.
Evolution Racing Technology Body. Yep.
So that's who we went with. Yep.
That's
I
who
can
you went
remember.
with. Yep.
Yep.
Nate Will. Sup, guys? Is he out of Australia? That
You know, I don't know. We'll have to hop on the Facebook and see. Yeah,
Mike Schultz, so you're correct about dirt and asphalt. We were just talking about Mike there a little bit ago. David Bradford, the other co-chair out of Algona. Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be on the last time. That's fine. I guess you guys got some water. They were showing pictures of the Algona track and that river that runs behind it. Kind of flood the parking lot. Nate Will is Greg Boldy's friend. Okay, that's Nate Will I was thinking of. Yep. Okay.
I was going to say if he lives in Fremont and Australia, I want that guy's job.
Don't worry about it.
Making that kind of money. So
yeah, you're right. You're Greg Boldy's friend. Yeah, I remember. Okay, I remember you. Yep. Says yes, it's bad, and that's the sad thing about it. And I've had some guys actually from Iowa text me and message me today about are we racing and. As a promoter, I hate this. I really do because I can't tell you if we're racing or not, especially with this time of year, because I don't know what it's going to do. And I can't say, yeah, we are. And then we rain out and you're down here, as a race car driver, you got to take that chance. I mean, I'm doing the best I can to call different types.
Big cars do it. We can do, I mean, it is what it is. It's the weather. Unless you're going to put up an indoor facility for millions of dollars, we'll just work with Mother Nature and take what she gives us.
Yeah. Well, when I was racing big cars, we were traveling all over the Nebraska and Iowa and Kansas. And there's times we travel 4 or 5 hours and we get rained out.
Right.
And we go home. I mean, we're disappointed, sure, but
nothing you can do.
So anyway, guys, tonight, again, make sure you have your memberships, Cusack members. If you're not a Cusack member, but you did sign up, make sure that you have a paper trail, like a receipt from PayPal, whether it's your Visa card, because we can't just say, we just can't accept the fact that, yeah, I'm a member. And then, because you know me for 10 years, well, I got to have paper trail.
Is Cusack's list has been updated when I talked to you, or I said something on Facebook?
Matter of fact, that time that you asked me, I looked at it and it has not changed. Now I know like Dennis Stevens, Chuck, Glenn Fickle. I don't know, Liskey's gotten a member because he's out here working on his car in my shop. So, but we can sign you up before 5. We can't do any sign up after because we got the computer all locked up on scoring and stuff.
Right.
But you got to be a member, guys. I hate to say this.
Bring a receipt, bring a picture of your card.
Yeah.
You got to have something.
Because, a lot of those guys are voluntary. Like Doreen Brown, she's not getting paid for this. She's retired and she's responsible for getting the cards out and stuff. And everybody gets upset with her. But you know what? She's retired. She's not getting paid. She's doing this as a voluntary work. So just be patient. But when you do sign up, there is a receipts that you can get. I mean, I've got one for myself when I signed up. So, let's see. Oh, Greg Boldy says, I feel your pain. We are rained out tonight in Denison. Oh, wow. Well,
Denison, Iowa.
Denison, Iowa. Yeah. Um, on the north side fence, it's to the bottom and still raising.
Rising.
The more rain Monday, hope track doesn't go under. Then it's a mess. I
Yeah.
remember years ago when I raced
Yeah.
there, you had water in the infield from the river, and that river is dirty, it's muddy,
Yeah, smelly.
smelly, and stuff like that. So it does kind of screw stuff up.
Right.
Is that the same river by Fort Dodge?
I don't know if that's the same river. Is that the same river that goes through Fort Dodge, David Bradford? Don't know. So anyway, guys, tonight, sent out some questions about what you expect this year. We did a lot of updates. We put clay on the track. That's probably the biggest change you're going to see out there. Guys, I have no clue what this is going to do. This is not mutt clay that Nebraska has. They call it loam clay. I talked to the gentleman who built this track and he asked, how's it going? And I said, well, I need to get some dirt in, but I'm not happy with the black dirt that we have. I don't know. The track just feels weird to me, you know?
Mm.
And he says, you don't need black dirt. He said, yeah, I bet you're pumping a lot of water, aren't you? And I said, yeah, I'm going through a ton of water. He says, you need this loam clay. And so I called Dennis. Me and Dennis went out to his place. He showed me the difference between the two. And so we asked a price. Then that's where Dennis came in for the sponsorship. We kind of split it between him and me on it. And we hauled about 6 or 7 truckloads out, trailer loads.
Nice.
This loam clay is, and I asked him, where do you find loam? Why is it different from a regular Nebraska clay? And he says, this loam clay is a little more coarser. It absorbs the water, it holds the water, and loam clay is designed by glaciers that came through many millions of years ago. And he says there's only certain areas in Nebraska that has it, and where he gets it is here in southeast Nebraska. So it's just by glacier, I guess, glaciers that came through that made this type of a clay. So, guys, I have no clue. We could have went the good way, we could have went the bad way, or it doesn't make a difference. So, we put a light in behind the driver's stand out of turn 4. I want to thank everybody for coming out and moving fencing and fixing fencing and things like that. I really appreciate that. Chuck, you were out there.
Yeah, Zelazny's, Chaz and
Zelazny's
his
were out
dad.
there. Chaz was
and
out
his
there.
dad. Yep. Dennis. Yep.
We did have now people who like to race.
Oh, Reed was out there too.
Reed Priest
Our
was out
number
there.
one fan was out there. Yep. He came out. Yep, that was cool. Very cool of him.
There's some guys that like to park on the north side of the track, and the problem is I'm getting too many people parking down in there, and I can't get my water truck in or out if I have to get in there. And so there is 2 cones that says stay on the west end of these cones so I can get my truck and water truck if I have to get in there. Also, there's some pink feathers that I put down too, to where you don't drop your tailgate in the middle of everything, to where everybody's got to drive around you or be careful not hitting you. So follow that. The scoring sheets, we put them up on the north side of the driver's stand.
That's cool. Yeah. We started doing that at CUSAC Nationals, didn't we?
This year.
Yeah, you start doing it at the Nationals because the pins are still stuck in the wood up there.
But it worked out pretty good, though. Did
it work out?
I thought it was, anytime you get information to people, and inevitably somebody's, out of order, and that's fine. It's not a big deal, but it sure helps. To see what's next. Oh yeah, what position am I in? Oh crap, I got to get out the stand. And so no, I think it was a neat idea. I like the little magnetic board there. Thought that was cool.
And then we moved some fencing so you can get to the scoring or a driver's stand a little bit easier instead of walking around the fence. You could just and we put up some pool noodles, making sure that if somebody runs their hand over the fence, they don't cut themselves if they happen to fall over the fence, because the fence is not solid. It's made to move. So just cheapos. For that reason. So
right. Yep.
And then really the only change to this format for this year is how we score you guys in the heat races. As you know, in the past, if you finish first, you get 1 point. If you finish 5th or 6th, you get 5 or 6 points. And all that does is set you into your feature race. It has nothing to do with your year-end totals. What was happening is we were having races where we had 4 in one class and 5 in the other.
Get more
And let's
points.
say Chuck, you're in five cars. I'm in 4 cars. We
Right.
both finish last.
Right.
You get 5 points. I get 4 points. So I just gained a point on you just
Right.
because I had a
Right. Better heat.
better
Right.
heat. So
Right.
what we decide this year, we're going to from fourth place on back. We're just going to say 4 points. Tiebreakers is going to be based on your singles fastest lap.
Mm.
So we'll look it up and say, okay, you had a 7.2 and I had a 7.3. Well, we're tied on points, so you get to be ahead of me or transfer in the A if that's the case. So
Nice.
otherwise, that's just the only really major change. It's still the same scoring setup and everything like that. So any other questions, guys, out there? I'm looking here real quick. David Bradford says, yes, a different fork through
Okay.
Fort Dodge flooded as a lot. It was a mess to clean up.
I remember that.
Greg Boldick, yes, Chris, I'm a spectator tomorrow night. Oh, you're coming out. Good.
It's coming out. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Go fast, turn left. I'm just
I
sending.
like it. I like it.
There you go. Well, guys, every year we talk about trying to get ready to go into the season. Of course, we have nobody to talk about as far as feature wins and stuff, but we're going to pick on Chuck a little bit tonight. He's got this 195 IQ. We're going to call him Chuck Einstein.
Yeah.
And every year, and we've done it with Don Liskey, and we talk about who is going to win our class sponsorships this year. And we're going to put Chuck on the hot seat here a little bit. And you guys, if you want to join in, you can. Just tell us who you think is going to win a championship. And we'll go class by class. And we're looking at. Let's talk about the modifieds, fifth scale modifieds. Gosh, who? And it's sad thing about it, but who won the championship last year
I
in
was
fifth
gonna
scale?
say, yeah, who won it? That probably it should have been one of the Gatskys. Didn't it come down to those
Oh,
guys?
it was Cody Gatsky.
Yeah, but he and Will were like
Real tight,
neck and neck.
right?
It came down to the final main.
Yeah, who do
Yeah.
you think is going to win? And I don't know if Will is going to run the modified since he's got a quarter scale truck and a sprint car now.
Gotcha.
But what's your thoughts on?
I could say I'm excited to see what's going to happen in that class because, and I don't know if we still have sportsmen or not or what the plan is, Mike, but I mean, those sportsman drivers, Lexi's going to roll up. I just blanked on her dad's name.
Cody?
Cody. Yep. He's going to roll up. I would imagine Eric's son is probably going to come out. I think those guys have a modified. I can't remember off the top of my head. So we're going to have a ton of young new drivers up there. For those of us who are old and not so new. So I'm looking forward to that. I think this will be a great opportunity. Yeah, and again, whether Cody or Will, I mean, if either one of those guys, they're always are going to be a front runner up there. They've got it pretty well dialed in. I mean, they put that thing on a rail and they can make it go. So
is Steven's kid going to race modifieds, or are he going to be in late models?
I can't remember what those guys are doing, honestly.
Okay.
They've got the Stevens Racing program has got a lot of options, man. I mean,
give us your best shot of who's going to win the championship. Then, who do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what.
And I'm going to write this, and actually, I'm going to write this down because
write it down. Yep. If I can get around,
what your picks are.
If I can keep from running up under Cody or Will, I think I got a good chance, Mike, this year. That
Really?
modified was on a rail last year. I had carried a lot of speed into the turns. I gotta be able to figure out how to manage that with Will and Cody. But yeah, I'm gonna put my name in the hat. Nobody's gonna vote for you like you're gonna vote for yourself. So
who's your dark horse? Who do you think that could take it?
I'd love to see Lexi do it. I think that'd be cool. I think that would be awesome. I mean, she's got one hell of a crew chief in Jimmy, obviously, and a coach there. Cody, I mean, hell, Cody was running. Was he running 8.1s, 7.9s? Did he do 7.9? So again, with Sobbing Racing, I mean, they could put on they'll definitely put on a heck of a show, and I wouldn't be surprised if one of them was up there.
Well, not so fast as what's his name say on college. I'm going to try to pick. Well, again, it all depends if Brandon's going to race the modified class, but I'm kind of leaning toward Brandon this year. if he runs a full
Oh,
schedule.
Dennis is in the mod. Dennis is going to be in the mod. I just saw that
Oh,
pop up.
okay, so
Brandon will
that
be in late
changes
mod.
it.
Well, Dennis, I mean, yeah, Dennis is very good as
Dennis will
well.
be
I mean,
fast.
he'll be
Okay,
very
so my
fast. Yeah.
next pick,
Yep.
I would say is, boy, it's hard because we got so many good drivers.
It's a great class.
And
It's a great
anybody
class.
can win it. I'm kind of looking at. I'll pick you.
Hey, look
You're a
at
veteran. I'm going to pick you.
that.
You're a veteran.
Yeah. We'll
And
see.
I'm like you. I like to see Lexi to win it. She's
Yeah.
got a good crew chief in
Yep. Yep.
Jimmy
Good
Sabine
coach.
and that money
She had
lap
a heck of a
racing.
season. She had
Um,
a heck of a season indoor, Mike, out at Jensen. Dennis and
yeah,
I were talking about that the other night, and I said, she's going to be a force because she had quite a few top. She podiumed several times out at Jensen, and as you know, I mean, the more seat time you can get, the better the driver you're
sure,
going to be. So I would
right.
not be surprised if she's cranking it. I am excited to see. I think Eric is. Eric, I can't remember if you guys have a modified or not, but I'd love to see. Not Trey. Trey is his son. And
Yep,
then Chaz is a 10th scaler who does really
yep.
well. I can't remember. I think those guys are going to be running late model, though. Dennis will be able to tell us for sure. So
Okay.
anyway, but yeah, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I
Well,
do.
and I say that because you're a veteran, but you know what, Chuck, you're going to go up against Will Gatsky,
Yeah, either
and
Will or
he
Cody. I
is
don't know which one of
tough.
those.
And I don't
Oh,
know if Cody is going to run a full show or not with his modified. I
okay,
think Will is, but I don't know
okay,
about Cody.
yeah,
That's why I'm kind of giving the edge to you at the moment.
sure,
Now, if Cody was racing full deal, I would probably go with Cody
yeah.
100%.
He's
I would
very good.
100%.
Well, either one of those
Um,
guys they're so dialed in. It's fun watching their cars.
Late models.
Yeah.
Who do you who?
But the safe bet is going to be Brandon. That car that those guys have, man, that thing it is so dialed in. It's got so much power out of the turns, but it's well handled. It's well managed. They don't break them loose.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I would have to say, Brandon is going to be my choice. I think he's the easy pick.
Who's your dark horse?
I'd like to see Chaz do it just because he's a new driver. I'd love to see some new drivers up there. I
Yes,
think that says a ton for our sport.
sure.
Yeah, late model. Well, if Salty, I don't know if I mean Salty was running seven. What was he running? Seven. He got a 7.2. Am I thinking? Yeah, he was running 7.2s 2 years
Well,
ago.
you got to figure Zach Morris in all this too.
Oh, that's right. Crap, yeah, I forgot about Zach.
The problem with Zach Morris, I
Zelazny,
think
too.
he has a lot of classes.
Yeah, he's running 3. Yeah, Zelazny. I could. Thank you, Kim. Trevor. I mean, Trevor and Chris both. Those guys are.
Right.
It's so fun watching them just because they make it look so easy.
Well, I think
And
Trevor was the champion last year.
he
First time
did.
out,
Yeah.
he was a rookie
Yep.
last year and took the
Yep.
championship home.
Yep.
My pick, good call on Brandon. I'll go with Brandon on that. I think as long as he comes out, if he's running around with Super Stew there, misses some races,
Yeah, and
because
it's a lot.
you're only going to get one throw out.
Right. Right.
That could be a problem for Brandon.
What I'm hoping is Trevor. I'm hoping Trevor Zelazny gets a lot of OT with the railroad, and that'll help me. That'll help me out
Right.
this scale and 10 scale. So
if Brandon doesn't come out, I'm going to throw it back on Trevor.
yeah,
I think Trevor
he's
is.
good.
He's
So
good. I think he's.
Oh.
I think he could. But again, it all depends if he can make it out every race. It's
Right.
important. My dark horse is Dennis running late model
He is.
because I thought Dennis told me that he was not going to race
Oh,
against.
sorry. I'm sorry. I got it backwards. Brandon's late model. Dennis is mod. So yeah,
Okay.
Dennis is in my class. That's right.
Okay.
In the mod class. Yeah.
So that changes it a little bit because I was leaning toward Dennis as my dark horse. Who?
Chris Zelazny.
Yeah.
I think Chris could. I
Oh,
think
those-
Chris learned a lot. I think he was so busy helping Trevor that he
Right.
kind of lost track of what he was doing.
Nancy.
Sometimes.
Well, they finished. I mean, he finished top 3 last year, right? Zelazny.
Yeah, I think
Chris
so.
did. Yeah.
So I will live. I will Yeah, my dark horse would be Chris.
Yeah,
But again, if Brandon doesn't come out, I'm leaning toward
Trevor. Yep.
Trevor. Let's look at some of the comments real quick before we go into the Fisco
But I
sprint
tell you,
cars.
you know what though? Hey, still again, what about Zach Morris?
Well, that's just
Yeah.
it. And
Ooh.
Zach Morris, but again, I don't know how many times he's coming out.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
all
he's
depends
busy.
on who's
Yep.
all showing up. I mean,
Yeah.
if Zach comes out every weekend,
Oh, he's so
the
good. He's
modified is
so
going to be
good.
tough. The late model is going to be tough. The sprint car is going to be tough.
Yep. I'll tell you
That's
what's fun is when I was up on the stand last year, it was on that north end. It was Zach because Zach always takes my spot. Zach, thanks. I do that because you're a better driver than I am. But it's Zach, me, and Zelazny. And hearing those two going back and forth against each other was a riot, man. It was
really.
a riot. They're fun to listen to. I mean, they can actually chat each other up while they're driving. I'm just
How can
barely
you
holding
do
on.
that? I can't do
I know.
that.
That's what I said. I'm
I'm so
barely holding
locked
on.
into my car. And then
I
it was
know.
funny because when Jimmy was on last week and he was talking to me, and he says, I just can't talk to people when I'm on the driver's stand. I'll talk to him while we're in their yellow, but
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
so locked
I'm
in.
saying way. So
Let's
Zach
look at
Morris, yeah, Zach will be in there. Yep.
Brandon, late model, Dennis Mod. Okay.
Yep.
He's in a sprint too.
That's the class we are running.
Yeah, Chaz will be
Dennis
in late
says
model.
Chaz and late model is
Be
he
fun.
picked him for the champion. Oh, I got my first comment on YouTube.
Is that why that's different? I think
Yeah.
that's Nancy. I'm pretty sure that's Nancy.
Because there's a little YouTube
Yeah, there's a
dot
little
there.
red square or the red
No
box.
overtime. No.
That's
What we do, guys, and this will be in this paperwork, but we have it down, is if a yellow comes out on a white flag, okay, if the driver leader takes the white flag by computer, and it'll announce as you go across the line, white final lap, white flag. I don't know how it says it. That race will end back to the line. We're not going to be calling the yellow because we're not going to continue to have green, white checker flags all the night. So once the leader takes, when we did this last year, there was no issues. Basically, you spin out on your own. If there's a multi-car crash, if it blocks the track, I'll probably throw the yellow. But if it's just a single car that gets messed up in the infield, or we're going to finish
Talladega, baby.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
just gonna finish it.
Yep.
As so you cross the lap, and that's how we're going to finish it.
Yeah, I think she was talking about OT with Trevor, is because I think that's what Nancy was referring to.
Oh,
was
okay.
saying he's not going to do it. But look at this post. Talk about what I know.
Well, that changed it.
Oh my gosh, because you only get one throw out, and if he's burning that, we got what
the first night, yeah.
Yeah, we got possibly 9 races. That's too bad, Chris. I mean, I'm glad for the kid. I'm glad he's making money, but yeah, that's tough.
Bad.
I don't know if Zach's going to make it out either, though. So I thought Dennis, and I could be wrong, but I thought Dennis said that Zach Morris may not be making it either tomorrow. So that's changes a lot
of throwouts will be used, and we'll still stand on what we're calling, because you just got to make sure you make the rest of the racing. Fifth scale sprint car.
Gosh, I don't remember who's even in that anymore.
Well, you got Mike Garrett, Mark Hacker, Rick Young. It was kind of a low class last year.
Smaller one last year, but Hacker 2 years ago had a great year.
Yep.
And then Garrett is always good. Mike's always dialed in.
Rick Young's always consistent.
I love Rick's car too. I mean, it's just that OG. Man,
I heard Brandon's got a fifth scale sprint car. Going to try it.
I didn't see that. Man, I'm going to go. Let's see here. Well, and again, Zach Morris,
Zach Morris. Yep.
If Zach shows up and he's there all season, which he'll miss tomorrow, but that's a throwout, I'm going to go with Zach. If Zach doesn't make it there, I think Garrett's got. If Mike can stay out of Mike's way, Mike's very good.
Mm-hmm.
He just, he's very good. So, it'd be tough between Garrett and Zach. Man, I can't remember who's got more wins. I'd probably say Mike does because he's there.
Mike Garrett has the most wins.
Yeah. I got to go with my boy from Council Bluffs. I'm going to go with Garrett to win it.
You're going to go Garrett?
Outright. Whether Zach shows up or not, I got to go with the boy from CB.
Okay. How about your dark horse?
Man, I don't even. Oops, sorry. I don't have that. I don't know who we would go with. Is anybody new going to be running that?
Well, Brandon is.
Yeah, well, he doesn't count. He's not new.
Well,
Rick Young's won. He's won championships, right?
this is Brandon for sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rick Young's won a couple of them.
That's what I thought. I'm going to go with Rick as my dark horse, just because
Rick.
he's consistent. He's got the history. He can do it. He just needs to catch a few breaks here and there.
Well, those are good picks because I'm going to go ahead and go with Garrett. But rumor has it, and I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in your pick here. Rumor has it that Garrett's going to not going to race fifth scale sprint cars this year.
So you got a 2/4 scale? Is he running?
He is talking about just concentrating on one class.
One class?
Right.
That'll be too boring for him. That won't happen. He'll get too bored.
But I would probably say if Garrett is running all the races, Garrett. But I would like to see Mark Hacker.
2 years
Mark
ago,
is fast.
Yeah.
The problem with Mark Hacker is, and again, guys, when I make these comments, it's not being mean to you or anything, but he has to learn to slow down to be fast.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just my opinion.
Yeah. And he's proven he can do it. I mean, he's proven it, over the years. So
my dark horse, it'll be Garrett / Hacker. My dark horse, I think, will be Rick Young. Rick Young's a veteran. He's been around racing for forever.
Right.
That car is got to be 90 years old. You know?
Man, it's fun to watch though. Another thing with Rick, if you listen, I think Will, I don't know who was I? I was standing, Jimmy, I can't remember who it was. We were standing on the north end there, down by the pits, and he was saying, you listen to Rick Young drive. Mm-hmm. You don't hear a lot of on off. He's
right. It's very, he rolls in, rolls out.
Oh yeah, it's so smooth. I mean,
right.
Yeah, he's just got such a touch. He really does. Yeah. Yep.
Sportsman.
Are you going to do one this year?
If we have the cars, yes, I will.
Okay.
But we got to have 3 to make a class.
Right.
Wayne's out.
Wayne's out. Wayne's out. He's
out.
Sold out. He's sold out. I know. Anybody who wear flip-flops year-round and not get he's the man. I think Nancy Zelazny. Nancy. She's very strong. Yeah, I think she could definitely have a great year. And if we don't have the sportsman, she's going to have to roll up with the big kids, and I think she'll do fine there as well. She had a really good season at Jensen as well. I remember seeing some posts.
Right.
So a lot of seat time this year for people. So
I don't know who's going to run in the sportsman, to be honest with you.
Trey is. Are you thinking Trey will move up, Eric? Is that kind of what your plan is? Let's see what Eric has to say. But if Eric runs if Trey runs sportsman, he'll give Nancy a run for her money, because that kid, oh my heavens, he made it look easy. And I'm sure it's probably because he's young, and I don't know if he does video games or not, but boy, he gets it dialed in. And Eric does a great job as his crew chief as well. So
right.
But I would say if Trey is not there, my choice is definitely going to be Nancy. I don't know who the dark horse is, because I don't know that we have anybody else.
That's just it. You don't know who's all coming in and got. That was a good pick. I would go with Nancy on it. However, if Trey, he's fast.
He's very smooth. I just got a post though. He just posted. I'm sorry to hear that, Eric. That's a bummer.
That's what happened here.
So Trey's going to be out most of the season due to surgery. So that's
no. Okay,
yeah,
so
that changes things.
So I would go with Nancy. Dark horse, I have no clues because I don't know who's all going to race sportsman. Again, guys, if we don't have 3 makes a class, we're just not going to do 2 classes and stuff like that. Because there is a places for you to go. If it was a quarter scale club, it might be different because they have no place to move.
Right.
Now we get into the 305 sprint car quarter scale. Now let's do a truck first. Excuse me, truck.
Man, those trucks are crazy.
Cody.
Yeah.
Cody's got a truck. Yep.
Yeah.
Who's your pick?
So what on the trucks? Who are we looking at? We're looking at Cody.
Well, we're looking Cody, Jimmy Sabine.
Oh man. Forgot about sobbing.
Who else is in the
Man,
truck?
how do we not mention? Well, we haven't done quarter
Well,
sprint. That's
Randy
right.
and Laurel, but I don't know if they're coming.
Yeah, that's
Um,
not going to be out much, right?
yeah, I don't think Laurel and Randy will be coming out all that much.
Right. Hopefully, the Nationals. I think he said they'll definitely.
Yeah,
make
the
it out.
Nationals will be out.
Yeah, truck wise, I think the front runner is Cody for sure. I mean, again, he just makes it look so smooth. What about Salty? What's Mike doing? We haven't mentioned his name for a
I
while.
have no clue what Salty's doing. All I know
Yeah.
is the last I heard, he's running a 305 sprint car.
Okay. So we're doing trucks right now. So, yeah, I would say Cody. But Sobbing. I mean, come on, Jimmy Sobbing. Oh, the Money Lap Racing. I think is who he has.
I can't think who was all in racing truck last year because there was
Jimmy, Cody, Laurel, Randy.
So you're down to 2. We gonna have a class?
Well, with the trucks, there's no place for them to go. So yeah, we're gonna have a class.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Good. That's good.
Well,
if somebody wants to buy me a quarter scale truck, I'll try it. They did, but he doesn't now.
He did. He sold it.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, between Jimmy and Cody, it'll be fun watching them just because they're both so darn good.
So who you picking?
I'm gonna go Sobbing just because of his experience. Because Cody, he didn't run full-time quarter scale truck last year, did he? Or was that the year before?
Yeah, I think the year before he didn't.
Okay.
He ran the quarter scale nationals. He was started way in the back of the B feature and got himself in the A. So
right.
He can drive. He's a wheel man. He can get that truck up front. I know there's some other guys. I just can't think who they are at the moment. Good pick. I'm going to go with Sabine too. He's a veteran. He's been racing for a long, long time.
No. Here's my thought with Jimmy is he has got what'd she say?
Climbs the wall.
Climbs the wall. Hey,
we fixed that wall.
We fixed the wall, by the way. With Jimmy, I think the challenge might be, depending upon how much energy and focus he puts into Cody and his, what's not his brother-in-law, Lexi's dad. He may not have a whole lot of time to wrench on his own machine. So it may be one of those that may pull him, the focus that he needs to outdrive and what am I looking for? Perform Cody, maybe taken up because he's so busy with the other 2 cars. So interesting. That'll be interesting to see.
One thing that we had Jimmy on there, the key word to him on racing was patience.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of drivers that have a ton of patience. Right. Jimmy has. I don't have patience, and I've been doing this since 1987.
Sure.
So, and I don't have any patience, especially when I'm getting older. It's getting worse.
Well, what happens is you start to overdrive, right? You overdrive.
I start to overdrive. I start to push the car harder than I can. So, and so, yeah. So I would go with Sabine on that, even though he's busy with Cody and Lexi.
Right.
He's just super smooth. Nothing bothers him. He likes to talk a lot on the driver's stand during a yellow flag. But otherwise, 305 sprint. We got this year, from what I understand,
Don Liskey. I'm picking Don Liskey.
He's going to be in it.
He is. I'm going to go with Don.
I heard Shane Manetti is moving down to the 305.
What?
That's the last conversation I had.
You can't go down.
Well.
Oh, what a sissy.
Shane Manetti, Mike Garrett talked about going down to the 305. Now this is just talk, okay? We won't know until they sign up. So it'll be Garrett, Manetti, Liskey, Salty will be going down to the 305 because he said he's got an older car. He's got that old Pro 1 now from Rick Young.
Gotcha.
I don't know. There's some other people that I heard that are running 305. So who's your pick since I give you these names out?
Right. Well,
and this could all, I want to tell you, this could all change by tomorrow night.
Right. Manetti's very good, he's very good. But again, so is Garrett, man. I mean, if Mike can just stay cool, he will be very hard to beat. And he's got experience. He's won track records up there,
Doesn't he have a 305?
No, he sold it to Salto.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I think I already picked.
Okay, I forgot. On the truck, Trevor's got a truck.
Okay, I was thinking.
But he's missing tomorrow night, so.
Yeah. He's not. Did he run truck? He didn't run any trucks last year.
No,
Did
so
he, right?
he'll be a virgin to
Yeah,
run.
that's gonna be hard, man, with those two
Yeah,
guys.
truck's hard to
Yeah.
race.
Well, they're just so darn loose. What we were talking, 305.
305.
I already picked Garrett to win once, so Minetti. I'm gonna go with Shane. I'm gonna go with him. I think that. I mean, the guy's a good driver.
Who's your dark horse?
Liskey. I'm gonna go with Don.
Oh,
We got-
he's out in his
He's out
penthouse out there. He's out in
Yeah.
his penthouse out there.
Yeah. You know, he does a good job. He's very smooth. He's very smooth, man.
My pick, I would say good pick on Shane Minetti if he goes down the class.
Right.
Of course, you got I would probably say Shane. My dark horse will probably be Mike Soltow.
Hmm.
He's been around a long time.
He's got such a mind for setups.
Yeah, I think Garrett is fast in a sprint car. But I don't think he's as smooth as Mike Soltow is and Shane Minetti. Minetti is real smooth. I race with him in 10 scale. I'm not afraid to race against him. He treats me very fair, and I treat him as fair as I can. And Garrett likes to put a lot of pressure on you, and sometimes that pressure can backfire sometimes because
it does.
And so I'm going to lean with Shane and Soltow as my dark horse.
Nice.
The problem with Soltow is he's got an older Pro 1 car. He's never raced it. And that's what kind of gives the edge a little bit to Mike Garrett.
Right.
Because Garrett's got time on that DT car.
But Salty is just so good, man.
But he's just so smooth.
He's got a mind for setup that is just incredible. Yep.
Christ, I was only two. What? I was only 2 in 87.
You were talking about when you started racing, Mike.
You were only 2 in 87. Oh yeah. Well, now you know how old I am.
That's funny.
I just dated myself.
What would you say? I missed it.
Well, I started racing in 1987.
Oh.
Quarter scales in Lincoln. It was in a parking lot at Trade Center.
Man.
And we had 6 or 7 cars that we were racing. Merle Hayes at Hobbytown.
Yeah.
Got us all in the quarter scales, and there's like 6, 7 guys. And I won my first championship was in 1988. So
man, and
Nancy, I was 40 in 87.
Were you like you were like
I was 25 in 87.
25 in 87?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
How the hell old are you, Kim? See, 25, 87. I'll work on it.
I work on it.
Man. Yeah, I know. I love it. I love that. Yeah, she was, because I was 15. So yeah, that's probably right. Yeah. Yep. Thanks, Nancy. Appreciate that.
And we get the last one tonight. 360 sprint.
360 sprint. So the big boys.
So to be
these guys are all changing though. They're
all moving down.
Right.
What's that? Well, again, we don't know. So it could still be Minetti and Garrett, and I know Sabine's not because he told me he's not going to do it because of the age of the car.
So Sabine.
So it'll be Sabine, Glenn Fickle, me, Jared Baker.
Oh, Jared coming out?
He's not coming out this weekend because he's got a graduation to go to.
Yeah, good. It'll be fun to see him. Well, you know what? I'm going to go with Fickle right away, just because. I mean, Glenn,
he's a champion, past champion.
He is, yeah. Although Shane's very good. If Shane goes down, Glenn's got it outright. If Minetti stays up there, or Garrett stays, and those guys are all just so darn good. But you figure when Glenn won it, 2 years ago, he only lost one race, right?
He lost one race. So did Sabine last year, one lost race, and guess who he lost it to?
Fickle.
Glenn Fickle.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, Glenn Fickle beat him at the last race of the year.
I'm gonna go with I'll go with Fickle to win outright, and then dark horse. There's no dark horse in that class, man. You know what? I'm gonna go with Mike Wellman because you had a good towards the end of the year, Mike. You got started getting it dialed in, buddy. You did. You really did. You looked good.
I was pretty happy with the car the last 2 or 3 nights. I was actually on the podium.
Yeah, that's what I'm
second
saying.
a couple times, third.
Right.
Okay, I'll put you down.
Yeah, put it down. Do it.
Um,
Good about that.
not so fast on the 360s there, Sunshine.
Uh-oh. Look out.
I'm still leaning towards Sabine.
Yeah, well,
His car was fast last year.
can't count him out. He's always good. I still think he's going to be busy with his two drivers. I think that's Jimmy's, you know.
I think my dark horse would be Fickle.
Yeah. The dark horse. Why would he be your dark horse?
Because he is supposedly, my understanding is he's going to miss a few races.
Oh,
is that going to change your tune a little bit?
Yeah, priorities, Glenn. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's get with the program here.
I know he may not be here tomorrow night.
And he might not be here tomorrow night.
His son's graduating from college.
How these graduate? He'll go and get another degree, Glenn. Come on, you'll be fine. Yeah, nobody goes to any weddings either. By the way, there's a 50%.
So you're still keeping with Fickle?
No, not if he's going to be there. No, I definitely. Sorry, Glenn, yanking that rug out from under you. I'd go with Jimmy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd go with Jimmy. He's awesome. Fun to watch.
Cody Boone wits on there and says, I heard that Sabine and Fick are going to the 305.
Oh, man.
I don't think that's going to happen. After the interview I had with Jimmy Sabine, he said, I'm not going down to the 305. So.
Although he's faster than, he's faster than Grease Lightning in that 305 with that plate. He did a great job.
Oh, we forgot Eric Hauser running the 305 class.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that outlaw.
I'm going to run a pipe in a 410.
Yes, I love listening to Eric's car going around the track.
We used to back in the old days at Wally Tracks up in Sioux Falls. We used to have a Cheaters Day. Where just everything is legal. Everything is
every day at Outlaw. What are you talking about?
And we had a guy, we called him Doc Holden. And the reason we called him Doc Holden was he was a nurse. Okay. And, so we always called him Doc. And cool guy. His dad, we always called his dad Carl Kinzer. Because he's always playing with the sprint car. And Doc was pretty good, fast driver. I mean, he was a good driver back then. And they had Cheaters Day. And you could do anything you want to do. I mean, there was guys coming up with weird wings. I'm talking sprint cars, stock cars, whatever, because we only had 2 classes. Doc Holden came out with a sprint car that had 2 motors.
Oh my heavens! Imagine syncing that up. Oh
2
my
motors, and they were inline.
Yeah.
Okay, he built the car around the motors. It had so much weight that it wasn't that fast.
Right.
But boy, did it sound cool.
I bet it did. I bet it did.
So yeah.
Did you guys run the opposite way on the track too?
And then we ran the opposite way one time, and it screwed everybody up so bad because the cars are set to turn left.
Right. Trying to go the other way.
Well, guys, we're about ready to end the show. I want to thank everybody. We're going to look forward to I hope a good season this year. We had a record amount of car count last year. I know that a lot of people are going to miss some racing this weekend. Maybe I can finally get on the podium and win, maybe.
I know the feeling.
And if we miss any of you guys in classes, we apologize because we don't know who's all racing and what classes. This is all for fun. No insults intended.
Right.
This is just for fun. The thing about it is anybody can win out here, and that's been proven over and over and over. The only one that I know that's probably the dominant guy is at right now is Cody Gatsky in the modifieds. If Jimmy Sabine, he's multi-champion, you can call him the GOAT out here because he's won so many features, so many championships in different classes. But
his head just got big.
But anybody can win. Chuck, you've definitely improved since the first night that you showed up.
Well, thank you.
But
Zelazny's. I mean, Trevor, man, he could. Yeah. I mean,
he's a will man. Yeah,
he is so smooth.
But anyway, guys, tomorrow night gates open at 2. We're going to open up an hour earlier. Hot laps at 5. Racing at 6. Now, if we get any heavy rain, because I've been working the track and it looks really good. It's water rutted, so be prepared for that. I don't think the fit scales won't get bothered, but the probably the quarter scales will have some problems. So you have to adjust your shocks accordingly. But if it gets to the point where I can't, and it's not the track that I worry about because the track dries off fast. It's the
Mhm.
pits where everybody
Right.
pulls their vehicles in. That could be a problem. But I'll keep an eye on. I heard some Iowa guys will come down
That'd be
to
cool.
show up.
That'd be cool.
And
Yeah, and rain-wise, Mike, it looks like, it's between 1 and 5 a.m. Otherwise, everything else, and there's wind. So even
yep,
if we do get that rain,
yep. Well,
um,
I haven't watered the track tonight, guys, because I'm just afraid
Don't need to.
if I get there's a lot of moisture in that track. Surprisingly, when I took the box scraper on it and bladed it, trying to get the water ruts out, um, I was surprised how much water is in there. What was nice about this clay was it wasn't clumping up into a hard, packed concrete style. It
yeah,
just came apart.
nice.
Um, I'm hoping, guys, that this clay will work for everybody. If it doesn't, blame Dennis Stevens.
Oh,
It's just a
man.
new surface. If it works, we're going to haul some more in later on this year, or probably before the quarter scale nationals.
I'm back. You're
Um,
froze. There we go.
Make sure you have your CUSAC membership, guys. That's important. Make sure you have your, if you don't have a license, which most of us don't, because we're waiting on Doreen, which is understandable. Make sure you have some sort of, you know,
Receipt,
receipt,
screenshot, something,
right?
the email, whatever, right?
Make sure you come up, guys, when you do sign up. Make sure you get Kim the current transponder number. So,
Yeah, good
because the
idea.
problem is we're getting so many transponders, and when you go out there, it is if you're somebody's borrowing the transponder or buy a car from a guy with a transponder in it or switching out transponders from one class to another class, it's coming up as dual drivers. Now we
Mhm.
can drop and drag, but we're better off just get a sign up so we can get you in as a primary number.
Do it
It's
correctly.
not that hard. So the entry fee will be still the same. We're still looking for class sponsors. We're still looking for a major sponsor. One last thing, I'm going to have a little contest this year too. Is since we don't have a corporate sponsor where they get that upfront parking there by the penthouse
It's
Mm.
mine now.
where Liskey's is, not starting tomorrow night because that'll be open for anybody. But if you guys, anybody who wins an A feature in any of the class will have a drawing for that spot.
Yeah,
And we'll spin the wheel. And if you win it, you get that's your reserve spot for the weekend. If
for
you
the
don't
next,
show, yeah, if you don't
for the
show
next,
up, then it's open to
right,
anybody. So, but
right.
until we get a corporate sponsor, I better win, right?
Chuck, he's laughing at me.
Oh man,
Uh, but if we, but if we get a corporate sponsor, we'll have to go that route. Quarter scale nationals, you don't get that spot for the nationals. That's kind of reserved for our corporate sponsor, Manetti, or not Manetti,
Maneri,
Maneri.
Maneri.
But I don't know if he's coming, so that'll be an open spot all weekend. So, guys, one last thing, guys, get on there and comment. Otherwise, we are done for the night. We're looking forward to a 2024 season. Chuck,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
last words.
yeah. I'm looking forward. I just again want to thank my sponsors. I'm looking forward to having a great year this year, and yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
All
It'll be a good
right. Well, guys, thank you, Chuck. We'll sign you off here. Well, guys, we're going to sign off here. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. We are going to. I'm going to go out and see if Liskey's working on his car. Last I saw was as soon as I left, he went in the penthouse. So,
He's probably watching you.
yeah, he's probably watching us on Teal. So, guys, appreciate it. Come out tomorrow night. Gates open at 2. Hot laps at 5. We're going to have a drivers meeting and then go into the 2024 season. I'm Mike from Outlaw Raceway Park. Keep your tires down and your wing up. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Do I need to type those for you? I